What's going on, guys? How are y'all doing today? Today is Monday, December the 11th of 2023. Now that date isn't really significant in any way, except that a little under 3 years ago, I started investing on a consistent basis on my own. Now, before I really start this video, I want to tell you that the number you see in the title is legit. It's not clickbait, and you'll see me arrive at that number later on. But before we get there, I need to explain a few things and also state that, as cliche as it is, this is not financial advice. This is simply what I did and my results so far. I also need to address the elephant in the room. First off, hook 'em horns. Secondly, as you can see behind me, this is my childhood room. I do still live with my parents. And without getting into too many details, the reason for that is back in 2017, I was about to graduate college at the University of Georgia. I was a month away from graduating when my mom was struck by a car in a grocery store parking lot. She suffered a traumatic brain injury and was in a coma for 5.5 months. Thankfully to God, she woke up and she's slowly recovering to this day. Well, when I graduated back in December of 2017, I spent that next year going to different hospitals and different nursing homes with her, trying to make sure she got the best care, because my dad had to work to get insurance and my sister had one more semester left in high school. So for me, the logical decision was for me to be there just to make sure she has the best care. And in October of 2018, we ended up bringing her home. I ended up being basically the caregiver for about 3 months, and then we finally started getting caregivers through different agencies until we eventually arrived at the one we're using now. And during that time, in 2019, in the summer, I got a job at a state park across town, and I was a maintenance ranger. I did that for a season. My term ended that December. I had to separate from the park for 6 months. 6 months later, we were in the middle of 2020, which I think everybody understands what happened then. And the DNR, or the Department of Natural Resources, completely shut down. At that point, I needed a job, and so I found my way to FedEx, and I have been there pretty much ever since. I took a break for a couple of months to try to be a driver. That didn't quite pan out too well, and I went back to the warehouse. That's basically where we are today. Back in 2021, I watched a video that basically broke the camel's back. It was a video titled $1 Million Cup of Coffee. There was a lot of videos like that being made at the time, but this guy specifically did a really good job of explaining it. It was the same thing that I've heard in many videos before, and it was the same concept that I understand, that basically dollar cost averaging into the stock market is the best way to invest in the stock market. Not this day trading crap. Now granted, you can make money on day trading. In fact, I was day trading before that. In 2017, I started using Robinhood and just day trading every so often, but really I wasn't getting anywhere. And that video really kind of nailed it home that in order to really reap the benefits of investing in the stock market, which I believe is one of the most American things you can do, because you are investing in American businesses, and you are reaping a reward from that. You're investing into your own country, really. So, after I watched that video, I decided to finally take action. Again, I have been using Robinhood before. I also already had many of the apps that I'm going to discuss in this video at the time as well. But I started using an app called Stash to invest on a daily basis. The reason why I use Stash is because it allowed you to invest small amounts as $5 into different blocks, and it just made it super simple. At first, I decided to try and invest in every ETF that Stash had, until I realized that was kind of pointless, because every time I would get to so many invested in, it would pretty much unlock more that was already on the platform and start showing me those. At which point I kind of got discouraged, and I even Googled how many ETFs Stash has access to. The number at the time was like 180 or something like that. And so by that time, it was getting close to May of 2021. I had been investing every single day up until that point. I kind of got discouraged for a little bit, as well as prices started going crazy. So I kind of stopped that idea for a minute. But then I still remembered that I wanted to invest at a regular rate. And I started investing into Robinhood $100 every single payday. But Robinhood is not one I want to talk about first. I want to talk about the app called Acorns. The reason being is I feel that Acorns is a great place to start if you have no idea about investing. Simply put, Acorns is put together by financial experts, and you have 3 basic portfolios you can get paired up with. Once you open the app, it'll ask you a couple of questions to get a feel for what type of investor you want to be. And then it will create your portfolio, and then you can do something that I do with the app and enable this thing called roundups. What roundups is it takes $5 and it'll invest in the stock market automatically for you into your portfolio. You simply have to link it to a credit card or a debit card. If you feel kind of frightened by that, please do realize that your bank probably has the same exact type of thing linked between your credit card and a savings account. Mine does, and I'm using Bank of America. Basically, what roundups are is, let's say you go to a store and you buy something for $2 and some change. $2.30. Basically, you just paid $3 for that, whatever it is. Because the difference between $2.30 to $3, that's 70 cents, gets invested into that little $5 holding thing. It keeps reinvesting into that little pot until you reach $5, and then it will invest in the stock market for you. Sometimes you'll get a little bit more, depending on if you reach that mark during a weekend or during a non-trading day. So first, Acorns, and I'll go ahead and show you my account. As you can see, I have $1,646, and for the sake of this video, I'm not going to count the cents, simply because once we get to Robinhood, it's probably going to change quite frequently. Now that amount I'm quite proud of, because it's basically a keep the change program. I haven't done anything except spend money, and the difference is then put into that account. The reason why I want this to be the first one I talk about is because it is just that simple. It also has where you can invest in specific stocks as well, but this is really for anybody who just wants to get started into stock investing on their own and you don't have a whole lot. And by the way, let me go back for a second. What you need to do first before you do any of these investing apps or anything like that is figure out how much money you are spending on any given month. That way you have a bit of a budget. I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds agonizing, but seriously, if you're having money issues, that's what you need to do. Figure out how much money you're spending, that way you can manage that. Because if you don't know how much money you're spending, how are you going to know how much money you need to make? Most people probably know about how much money they're making, but not everybody knows how much they're spending. So anyway, the next one I want to talk about is Stash. So Stash works similar to Acorns in that you can invest in like $5 blocks of, again, ETFs or stocks and bonds. And so my stash portfolio is at $1,528. Again, if I can get this to... Again, and that is primarily from those few months that I invested every single day. I invested $5 every single day. And I don't believe that people need to change their way of life in order to solve their financial problems, but you do need to change something, and that's your habits. I'm not saying don't go out to eat at those fancy restaurants, just maybe don't do it as much. Not saying give up the Starbucks coffee every single day, just maybe pick a day and don't go there. You'll be surprised at how much money you can set aside. Another thing about Stash is that Stash likes to have these things called Stash block parties. And basically all you have to do to participate is log in to the link they send you and claim a free stock that they're giving away. In a certain amount of time, of course. But it's literally free stock. It's not a whole lot, but free is better than not, right? And another thing about Stash and Acorns as well, they have specific time periods during the day that they invest or sell in the stock market. So unfortunately with those two apps, you're not actually investing in the stock market right now, per se. You put in a order to invest and it executes it whenever it queues up and you're next in line. Now I want to get into a little bit of crypto, and I know what everybody's thinking. Oh no, crypto, don't talk about that. I'm not really big into Bitcoin or any of those other big cryptocurrencies that's extremely volatile. Instead, I'm into something known as stable coins. And the stable coin specifically is US dollar coin. And what that is one US dollar coin is the same amount as one US dollar. Now you might be thinking, well, how do you make money on that? That doesn't make any sense. 1 US dollar equals 1 US dollar coin. How is there a way to invest in that? Well, companies are using crypto like banks are using your money. Believe it or not, your savings account, even though it's money you put aside and you put over there, and anytime you want it, you can go grab it, banks are actually using those funds to give to other people and charge them interest rates. That's why you have a certain interest rate that your account increases by. What they do is they give your money to those people and charge them an interest rate, and then take a small percentage of that, or well, a percentage of that, and return it to you. That's how banks make money. Well, they do that same exact thing with cryptocurrency, and specifically US dollar coin is the one that I prefer to use, because instead of having to worry about volatility, I know that 1 US dollar is going to equal 1 US dollar coin. But before I get into the app that I do that primarily with, I also use an app called Coinbase, which has started to do kind of the same thing, just without much of US dollar. My Coinbase balance is $402. As you can see, I don't really use that a whole heck of a lot. I'm just scrolling to prove to you guys that this is not a screenshot, and that's why I'm reloading the page as well. So as you can see, I don't have a lot in Coinbase. I have more in the next app I want to talk about, and that is Crypto.com. Crypto.com is the app that has the ability to have an account called an Earn account, which basically means you put crypto into that account, they loan it out to somebody, charge them a commission, and pay you a percentage of that. And that's how you can make money on that. And if you're using a stable coin that's always going to be the same price, it's basically free money. Now, back years ago, when I first started and the crypto was going just buck wild, really, there was some insane, absolutely crazy interest rates they were guaranteeing people. 12%, I think, at one point. That was like the wild, wild west, honestly. So my account in Crypto.com has 842.83 US dollar coin. Now, once again, I told you that you can enter into a Earn account, and what you have to do is put that crypto aside, not touch it for a certain amount of time. They do have the flexible where you can stake it, and then, like, say next week you need to get it out, you can. You're not going to receive quite that much in return, but that is a thing. So, with me saying all that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. So you go to Crypto Earn, you'll get that page, and then you go over to the Discover tab, click the one that you have, in my case USDC, and then it'll give you options for how much percentages you can get. Now, do be aware that these are percentages throughout the entire year. So basically what it's saying is a flexible account where I could invest in it today and take it out in a week or two, I could get up to 0.5% on what I invested, and that's over a set year. So, but what I do is the fixed. So I do the 1 month fixed at 1% right now. When you click it, it's going to come up with some check boxes. Make sure you check them all, and then click continue, and then you can stake, as you can see, all my USDC. And it's in there. Currently, right now, the US dollar coin is fluctuating due to inflation. It's not quite the same value anymore, so that 837 US dollar coins that I have is worth $832. And now I want to talk about Robinhood. Now, like I said, this is the main app I use nowadays. Back in May of 2021, I started investing in Robinhood on a regular basis. I wanted to jumpstart my account, so I put $1,000 in. After that, every week on Friday, which was payday, I would put $100 into that account. And this is my Robinhood portfolio. $14,286, and as you can see, it's a live market. Constant trading going on. If I scroll down here, you can see all the funds that I have. For the sake of this video, I'm going to say 14,286. Robinhood is nice because it gives you access to the live market. Now, whether or not it's actually the live market is kind of up in the air. It might take a little bit when you do initiate a trade for all the services to come through. But it's pretty much the closest thing you're going to get to the live market. And another nice thing about Robinhood is it's free to download. Anybody can download it, anybody can use it. Without any further ado, let's calculate how much I've saved in tangible funds. And what I'm meaning by that is these are all funds that if I need, say, in a couple of days or something, I can get. And that is the result. 1646 plus 1528 plus 402 plus 832 plus 14,286 gives me $18,000, $18,694. And that, again, is tangible money. Now, I do have some things that I do on the side that just kind of for fun. One of those things is an app called Fundrise. And what Fundrise is it's basically a crowd-funded real estate investment app. Basically, the founders of Fundrise realized that it's a whole lot easier to ask 10,000 people for $10 than it is to ask 10 people for $100,000. Of course, when I started investing in Fundrise a few years ago, you had to invest about $250 in order to get into it initially. But my Fundrise account, and the way I've used my Fundrise account is I've invested $100 every month. And the reason for that is because with Fundrise you have to stay invested for upwards of 5 years before you can even withdraw funds. And I know that turns a lot of people off, but the reason for that is because they're actually using that money. If you want to invest in the stock market, into the real estate, there's some ETFs out there that you can day trade all day long and it's not going to hurt them. But Fundrise actually takes your money and invests it in things like labor, lumber, and anything you can think of to build properties and to run properties, basically. Get it up and moving. Get it up to where it can make money. And that is your return. A portion of what they receive. Whether they're building to sell or they're building to rent. My Fundrise account is currently sitting at $4,285.57. As you might be able to tell over there in the corner, right below it is my actual contribution. As you can see, I'm down about $225, $215, down $250, well, down $216.99. Again, the reason for that is because they are investing this money and trying to get these properties up and running. I'm not really too scared because this is money that I don't need. It's just extra money that I had lying around and I'm not doing anything with, so I figured might as well put this money to work for me. And I think everybody needs to try and do that. And now if I take the $4,285 from Fundrise and add it to the entire portfolio, I get $22,979 in my portfolio. Now once again, when I'm investing $100 every Friday, which is around $400 a month, plus another $100 once a month to Fundrise, so that's $500 a month. I know that probably sounds like a lot, can sound like a lot of money to some people, and to some people it might not. But doing that over almost 3 years now has given me almost $23,000 in the palm of my hand. Now granted, the Fundrise money, no, I cannot touch, so I'm really looking at, again, $18,694, but still, to some people that might not be a lot, to some people that might be a lot. So, to me, I'm happy with it. Do I wish it was more? Sure. You know, but again, the point of this video wasn't to brag. It was just to show you these different things that I'm doing, and to break it down even further, like I said, $500 a month, and there's an average of 30 days in a month. Let's do some math here real quick. 365 days a year, there's 52 weeks in a year. 100 times 52, that's $5,200 every single year going into my portfolio, plus the 100 times 12 is 1,200, so plus 100, $6,400 going into my portfolio. Now with that kind of math, it might not seem like I'm earning a lot right now, and I'm not really. It's fine though, because this is money, once again, I don't need, because it's just going to be burning a hole in my wallet. I've been blessed with the ability to not need materialistic things. And maybe for you, $100 a week is too much. Maybe you are living paycheck to paycheck. But if you make that budget and figure out where all your money's going, maybe you can make that cut. Maybe you can stop buying that extra coffee. Maybe you can stop eating out just that one day a week and put that spare $5 to $7 or whatever to use. Put it into an account and watch it work. Watch it work for you. And just keep compiling that. That's how you get to be better off financially. I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. I know it's been kind of a crazy video, but I believe if you have knowledge, and if you, because I didn't go to school to study finance. I didn't go to school to study business. I went to school studying wildlife, and I took a couple of economics classes along the way, and life teaches you things along the way. The best thing that college could teach you, or school in general needs to be able to teach you, is how you yourself learn. That's the main thing you need to know, which is why all these kids in high school that struggle usually do a whole lot better than the kid that got straight A's, because they had to figure it out to pass. They already have a leg up because they know how their brain works. they know how they themselves learn. When it came to the stock market, it just kind of seemed natural for me. Once again, I tried day trading. Didn't really quite fit. And I realized something. I'm an investor. I don't want to have all the money in the world. I don't really care to. What I want to do is have enough money that I can live comfortably, do what I want to do, but also help people. Say if a friend of mine has a business venture and needs assistance financially, I want to be able to give that to them. I want to be able to leave people better off than before I met them. But with all that being said, guys, there will be links in the description to all these different apps that I mentioned. Disclaimer, they are affiliate links, so if you click on it, download the apps and stuff, I do get a little bit of a kickback, but trust me, it's not much. But you get free stock, I get free stock, so it's a win-win. I'm not one that really says stuff like this, but I feel like this information can help people. So if you found it helpful for yourself, please give it a like, give it a share, send it to somebody that you think could use this information. Let me know in the comments anything you do as far as money, I guess, goes. Let me know of anything you think I could try. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.